Next, I'd like to call up Carlo Donestev from Fundella.
Okay, well, hi, and good afternoon to all. The first thing that I would like to say is that I'm speaking here on behalf of Fundella from Spain. My name is Carlos Donesteve, and I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the Spanish, the national health system, since there are many different countries and many different systems. I guess this is going to be basically more or less common to all of the European countries, but we just wanted to make sure that you get an idea of how it works. So first of all, I have to say that I am a graduate from Boston University, so it feels great to be back home. That's the first. Second, that the voice that you're going to hear is mine, but the brains behind this are right there, is Teresa. If you don't see her, that's because, as they say, small things come in good things come in small packages. So there she is. Anyway. Apart from that, well, the title that we have here, the Spanish National Health System, the world's best umbrella for pulse care, well, I don't know. We just needed a catchy title. So anyway, so basically this is how it works. Obviously, we have the rights. The way our system works was first established in 1986. We want coverage that is universal in Spain and also universal in terms of territories, so that we achieved that basically in 1986 as well, or 1989. And what happened, something that was very important, is that in 2002 it was divided and the jurisdiction passed to the different regions, to the different, what we call autonomic communities. We have 17 of those in Spain. So what is the aim of this national health system? Well, first of all, to guarantee and facilitate health care for all in Spain. That includes the people that are also the foreign residents in Spain. And we do that through public funding. We try to guarantee the quality and the security not only of the health care, but also of the benefits that people are going to receive. And again, it's to all, so it's universal. The Spanish National Health System provides assistance for all cases of maternity, illness, and accidents, whether they are work or non-work related. Also the professional recovery for all of these cases. And there are economic benefits, I'm talking about money, obviously, for temporary disability, maternity, paternity, pregnancy risks, natural breastfeeding, the care of children with severe diseases, disability, retirement, unemployment, etc. This is all provided by the national health system, usually through the Social Security. So, in the year 2002, Fundella conducted a survey asking patients with ALS what was it that they wanted, what is it that they demanded. And this is what they said. You can see that the assistance of the deceased to be a right, to reinforce the structure, to have different programs, also to reinforce research, and skipping the next one. Promoting patients' autonomy from a point of view of maximum respect for them, also universality and equal care and access for all, the promotion of research into drugs and care based on effectiveness, and excellence in care. And I skipped the other one because we found out that one of the most important things was actually coordination. Coordination is key here, because if you want to have integrated, comprehensive care, you need to have this coordination, especially important in Spain, where, as I said before, we have transferred the care or basically the management of the health system to the different autonomic communities in such a small country. So our conclusion out of this survey was that this is basically what they wanted. They wanted research, I'll explain that right now, and assistance. This research is not just research in terms of basic research and clinical research. As a patient once said, they tell me a lot about little mice, but the question is, what are you going to give to me, right? So she wasn't only talking about just drugs, she was talking also about something else in terms of care. And that is what we found out here, and this is one of the parts of research that we decided that was interesting to do, which is to see when you're talking about we need hospital beds, okay, how many beds, for how many people, what kind of beds, whatever. If we are talking about care, we need more care. What type of care? Do you need emotional care, etc.? So it's just, obviously, clinical research is very important, basic research as well, but, going a bit farther beyond that. And here I'm going to give you just some milestones in terms of the ALS history in Spain. For us, everything starts in 1990 with the El Escorial meeting, where the El Escorial criteria were set. And the way I see this, I'll tell you a little story now. When you start collaborating with ALS organizations, you get involved in the ALS community, usually people come to you and ask, so how come you're collaborating with these people? What is your connection here? And I used to say, none. You know, I didn't know anyone with ALS. I had no personal connections, no family members, nothing like that. And the thing is, that wasn't true. Slightly before the beginning of this summer, Conchita, the mother of one of my friends, Pepe, one of my best friends from school, passed away. And he's been my best friend since we were 5 years old. I never knew that his mom had ALS because he has been one of these long patients, long living patients, 42 years living with ALS. And for me, what she had was this weird disease, not even rare disease, just a weird disease. And it turned out that it was ALS. So, at least in 1990, we started having a name for this, more or less. It started becoming, or being something that was known not just by neurologists specialized in this, but by the rest of the medical community and the rest of the population. So I'm just going to tell you a few things. Not only started, with El Escorial, that was important in terms of research, in terms of the medical community, but also it meant the establishment of the first countrywide association, which was called ADELA, that was founded by Dr. Jesus Mora. And basically, he's been like the leader of ALS research in Spain for the past, I don't know how many years. But that led in 1992 to the establishment of the first regional NGO in Valencia, which was also important. And in 1993, one of the things that happened is that we got to participate as a country. Spain participated in clinical trials for Riluzole. And that meant, after the success of those trials, it meant that it's something that it was going to be given to any patient under medical prescription for free, which I guess is very important. The next milestone was that in 1997, I believe after some dinner in Mallorca, I don't really know the details of that, but a family decided that they wanted to give some money for ALS research, and it was going to be earmarked for research. So we started the first grant. It was a grant for 5 years, and I don't know, that happened in 1997, so that was also very important for us. And then in 2002, Fundela was born, also created by Dr. Jesus Mora. So I guess that makes us 15 years old, right? Not bad. And the other thing that happened is that in 2005, there was a series of clinical trials that were conducted. They were negative. And the patients said, so what can we do now? Patients and their families said, what is the next step? And they decided something that people in Boston know a lot about, which is they decided to rebel, okay? So they actually got together in December of 2005 before the Assembly of Madrid. Apparently, there's a shoe that was thrown to the person in charge of the Assembly of Madrid. There was a lot of, I don't know, not riots, but almost, people fainting. Anyway, it got a lot of media coverage. And that meant that with the help of Fundela and a group that was called ELA-MN, ALS-MND, the families and the patients actually advocated for the Madrid regional government to create the first unit, actually, the first interdisciplinary unit that was made up of 11 professionals that were included neurologists, psychologists, nurses, physical therapists, assistants, plus also multidisciplinary care, including rehab, endocrinology, pneumology, gastroenterology, etc. And that was at Hospital Carlos III. That was very important for us. In 2009, the next milestone, this is just the structure of palliative care in the regional community of Madrid. And what happened is that they included ALS there. Basically, until then, palliative care was supposed to be just for terminal diseases. And then they decided it wasn't terminal diseases that they really needed to cover, but actually those diseases where there was not a cure for them. Okay, if you're curious, this thing that says ESAD, E-S-A-D there, it means that there are visiting visiting people, rehab, and other people that go and visit the different homes of the patients, and they provide palliative care there. So in terms of care, I guess that was very important. Just a couple of more slides. In 2011, this is basically the snapshot of what ALS was in Spain, ALS care. In the community of Madrid, we had 5 different official units, and the first semi-official units started appearing in other regions, such as Barcelona, Valencia, Bilbao, Alicante, Seville, and Gijón. We had approximately 12 different groups that were doing research all across Spain. And this is the other side of the story, I guess. We had more than 11 associations, 1 platform, 2 foundations, and one federation of NGOs. That's basically, I guess, our Achilles heel, which is, you know, how atomized everything is in Spain. We're not such a large country, and we have plenty of different organizations that may be good, but it's also may be bad in terms of having one single voice. But anyway. In 2017, not that long ago, the Francisco Luzón Foundation signed a series of framework agreements with different areas of the government, and in order to increase awareness and to propose a national plan against ALS. And again, as you can see, the NGOs just keep on growing. We have 10 regional NGOs, 2 at country level, 1 platform, 2 foundations, 1 federation, 4 fundraising groups, okay? So that's still very much automized. Apart from that, just to conclude, I will tell you that this is the picture right now. The strength is basically the services that are provided, or the care that is provided by the national health system that is free of charge, so to say, and that would include every kind of disease assistant, which is a right, okay, not just something that should be done, but it's actually a right. It's an obligation from the part of the government and the different regional governments. It must be public and for all, so it has to be universal. Medicines such as Rilotex is given to patients for free, obviously with a prescription. And there's also financial economic benefits for those who have the disease. If you have the disease, if you're diagnosed because before you retire, you will get 150% of the benefits. That means 150% of your salary, of your normal salary, or basically on a scale, the top that you can get. And it says 150% because what they assume is that you're going to get 100% of your salary that you're entitled to, plus 50%, which is going to cover the caregiver, okay? If it's after retirement, basically it will depend on your pension. Also, the different and most usual orthotics and prosthetics, such as wheelchair, cervical collars, splints, etc., are also going to be included. The problems that we have is with those things that are considered to be recurring needs. They're very expensive. For instance, there's no continuing rehabilitation, such as physiotherapy or physical therapy, speech therapy, etc. They're not going to fund the adaptation of your house to a person living with ALS, which, as we know, is very, very expensive. There are no alternative means of communications that are provided, no certain technical materials such as beds, mattresses, etc., that are specialized, and also no visiting caregivers. With this, what I mean is they're not going to pay for the person that you're going to need to have at home with you 24/7. Apart from that, due to the crisis that was especially hard in hitting Spain, there's been a lot of haircuts in terms of research. So when I say that these are the weaknesses, what I mean is that these are not covered for free, with our taxes, by the national health system. That is where the associations come in, that is where private funding comes in, and that is, well, the other part that is complemented by everyone else. So as you can see, it's not the world's best umbrella. It was a catchy title, I have to say, that was good. It got your attention, that's for sure, at least for a while. and that's it. I hope that it was okay. So we have a minute for questions, but we will need the other important person to be here. Yeah. Oh, that's even easier. You don't need to get up. Oh, okay. Teresa, there's a question here.
How do all those NGOs in Spain work together or collaborate?
Que cómo colaboran todas esas ONGs en España. Cómo colaboran, cómo trabajan juntas.
Juntas no lo sé.
Well, together we don't know.
Pero por separado sobre todo en las comunidades, dar la fisioterapia, la logopedia, la terapia ocupacional,
Ya, pues se refiere a cómo se comunican entre sí.
por las federaciones,
Well, there's a federation of NGOs,
o ahora a través de Francisco
And-
Luzón, que está un poco unificando.
and also through the new foundation of Francisco Luzón, he's trying to unify a little bit, what we do. Apart from that, also there's been an international voice that has been basically Teresa and Fundela here.
Normalmente
But-
tenemos muy buena relación.
But there's usually good relationship between all of the different NGOs. It's just, again, it's a regional system, so there are 17 different autonomic communities. Okay. So any additional questions? Okay, but you're okay, fine. Okay, so that's it. Well, thank you very much.